ESPN sports business reporter Darren Rovell joins us here on Big Board Sports. We welcome you back. Hour 2 of our show. It's Big Board Sports on 104.5 at Team ESPN Radio. And the big story, the Raiders moving from Oakland to Las Vegas. Probably going to take a couple of years till they get the stadium in Vegas all set, but it's going to happen. 31-1 vote by the NFL owners. The only owner that didn't vote was the Miami Dolphins, but everyone else, of course, they want their $50 million with this move that all these NFL teams, these owners get, and it's not to be shared. Darren Rovell joins us to react to that and more here on Big Board Sports. Darren, Roger Weiland, Chris Honorado in Albany, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Darren. Appreciate it. Let's just start, obviously, with the Raiders getting a lot of headlines this week. From a pure business standpoint, Darren, in terms of the money, which is what ultimately it's all about, did this make sense? Did this move make sense to you?
It makes more sense than the Rams to L.A. Yeah, you can talk about the expansion money and the owners who are not the Rams, Chargers, and Raiders getting about $53 million each from these three moves. But really, I mean, if you think about the fact that a casino, they have to buy suites. You know, a monkey could sell these suites in 20 minutes. If you think about the fact that Arizona kind of used to be the destination where fans would travel on away games. That was like one of the major destinations. Well, Vegas is now going to be the number one destination. And a Harrah's casino not only has to buy suites and high-end inventory for Harrah's Las Vegas, but there's a Harrah's in Kansas City and there's a Harrah's in New Orleans. And those fans, if those teams were to play the Raiders, you know, to give to a high-end customer, that's got to happen. So I think it's a better business proposition than Los Angeles to have a team in Las Vegas. That being said, it's just overall confusing given that, you know, Roger Goodell even said yesterday that he said the owners don't support legalized gambling and that it's just so strange if you were to rank the commissioners from 1 to 4 in terms of aversion to gambling. Goodell would be 4 and Bettman would be 3, and now we have 2 pro teams in Vegas, and one's a hockey team and one's going to be an NFL team.
Yeah, so it contradicts himself a little bit with his statement. Yes, there's no question about that. Darren, how about the Raiders leaving the number 6 market and going to Vegas market that ranks among the bottom 5 in the league?
Yeah, I mean, does it matter that Buffalo is market 53 or that Green Bay is market 68? Probably not. Definitely not. It's not about the local market anymore. It's about the national TV dollars. Each owner is going to get about $250 million plus from the national TV deal. If you look at Vegas too, proportionately, it trends in the top 5 in ratings. Every Sunday night or Monday Night Football because of gambling. And so a football team can play anywhere these days. It really doesn't matter where you play.
Hey, Darren, are you surprised is not going to be the right word here, but are you ever surprised that, these professional sports franchises aren't able to secure the funding or build a stadium on their own? I mean, ultimately, right, a lot of these moves come down to...
they just don't want to.
There you go.
The owners just don't want to. I mean, Paul Allen is like the 25th richest person in the world, but, he looks to get funding for Seahawks and Trailblazers from the taxpayers. That's just part of the racket. And in California, it's been extremely tough because, if you were to rank the states that have a deficit, they're certainly near the top. And, they've managed to get sick of the way of, funding stadiums with taxpayer dollars. I would say that, if you look at how this is funded, Vegas, I mean, it's just like the perfect scenario. It's $750 million in public funding, and it's through a tourist tax where it's going to add an average of about $1.50 to a hotel night on the Strip in a place where a third of the people are drunk checking out, or there's already so many add-ons on a Vegas hotel bill you're not even going to notice. So it works out perfectly in that you don't have an uprising about the locals and the public use of funds.
Darren, I know that Oakland, the Raider fans are in an uproar, but bottom line, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the city said no to public funds for a new Raider stadium, right?
Yeah, and the financing that they were going to present at the last minute was through Fortress, which is a private equity firm that has no tie to the Raiders or the Raiders ownership group. And if you look at the history of sports teams, sports leagues in general, they never really want to tie any sort of facility to something that is owned by someone who doesn't have a piece of the team, and that's a problem with Fortress. When you go into a deal, you want it to be a sweetheart situation, the best of the best, and in order for it to be a sweetheart situation, you can't have someone completely owning your stadium. You won't ever get pieces of the revenue.
All right, what do we expect in Oakland for the next 2 or 3 years, Darren? I mean, what do you expect the business fallout to be amongst fans in terms of buying tickets or merch or whatever in Oakland as they know the Raiders are leaving soon?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, merch is split 31 ways, every team but the Cowboys, so the merchandise might go down a little bit. The Raiders are probably 12th or 13th in the league in merchandise, and I guess they're still selling Oakland Raiders stuff. That's not going to matter because it's split. They already sold out season tickets for next year. Whether people show up or not, I don't know. I think the bottom line is the negative of the next couple years will be washed away by whatever comes in Vegas. I do think it's going to be a funny showdown in year 3. Because right now it looks like they'd build the new stadium by 2020. They have 2 years left on the lease. It would be pretty hilarious if Oakland gave them a very tough time, to get that third year and charged them something outrageous for the lease.
Could you see a scenario? We're talking with Darren Rovell, ESPN sports business reporter here on Big Board Sports 104.5 at Team ESPN Radio. Could you see a scenario that they leave earlier before the stadium is even built and play somewhere else in Vegas if things got a little dicey in Oakland?
Yeah, right now, I mean, that somewhere else is like Sam Boyd Stadium, which is, not a great scenario, but it would certainly be an option. But they wouldn't sacrifice everything not to play there. That's for sure.
A couple other things, Darren, for you. All 2018 Winter Olympic events will be live to avoid social media breaking the results to audiences. Where do you stand on that?
I think they had to do it. And the question now is, NBC paid $4.38 billion for the, 14, 16, 18, and 20 Olympics. Mm-hmm. That calculation, I think, was certainly based on them being able to prepackage. Because if you look at what ESPN, their bid, they were last. But they were like, we got to do this all live. And we're putting forth, $700 million a game instead of $1 billion. And so the question now remains, since maybe that wasn't in their calculation when they put in the bid, can NBC still make the money that they thought they could make by not prepackaging stuff? Now, I would say, South Korea is 13 hours different, so they can just have events and it's going to be advantageous to the U.S. market because they make the most in rights fees. So, you could just have the things that would have been in prime time in the morning and things that would have been in the morning in prime time over there, and it could still work out. But again, you can't kind of push things into, oh, yeah, we definitely knew we won this, so we're going to save that for Costas for the last thing of the night. They're not going to be able to do that.
Darren, last thing, man, we'll let you get out of here on this. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you one question about LeVar and Lonzo Ball. Is LeVar helping in terms of the marketability of his son? Do you see where a Nike or an Under Armour or whomever may shy away from Lonzo because of his dad?
I thought he was helping for a while when people were saying he was hurting. I actually did think he was helping, and now I think that's done. He's not going to have LeBron. They're probably looking to put someone in, like start a LeBron line like the Jordan line. Well, he already busted LeBron because LeBron doesn't want that relationship. He's already busted Jordan. The Jordan brand's not going to do a deal. So you're knocking out. You've pretty much knocked out, two of the stable brands in Nike. I feel like now it's a challenge. I feel like now it's turned into a challenge, and I think he should quickly be quiet.
And Darren, I will. I totally agree. I am so tired of it. So tired of it. I am looking forward to seeing Rex Ryan on a regular basis on Countdown. How much will he move the ratings and move the needle?
As long as they don't censor him at all, I think he's that Rex Ryan's one of those guys that obviously during his career he wasn't afraid to open his mouth. I think he knows why he's being paid.
This is true. I think he'll be a little bit careful with what he says, but I'm looking forward to it. Darren, really a pleasure having you on for a few minutes here on Big Board Sports, and we'll get in touch down the road. But thanks for coming on here on ESPN in Albany.
You got it.
Thanks, Darren.
Darren Rovell, ESPN sports business reporter.